Alright, so if you have been following from the beginning, this drill is one of the first ones that I start with my horses, just doing a big circle and getting them to come into smaller circles. This time I've added 4 barrels to do my first big circle around and then do my smaller circle around the barrels. Just another slight variation to give her something different to think about and to work on getting that focus on what I want her to be doing with her body around the barrel and really relating it to the barrels. As always, I start out at a trot and I start going in the direction that my first barrel is. So for her, it is to the right. And I go around and I circle each barrel once before I switch directions. If I wasn't happy with how she circled these, I would go around again, do a couple more turns, go around the whole 4 barrels again, whatever you feel your horse needs. Or if she needed to circle one particular barrel again, I would do that. And when I do my little transition there to switch directions, I'm really working on getting her to get that movement from her rib cage and bring her shoulders around so that we get that finish on the barrel in the run. That's another thing that I work on to get my horses learning how to pick up that lead coming out of the barrel. I'm trying to mimic what I want that barrel turn to be in that transition to switch directions. So I come into it and I think about where my pocket is, where the barrel is going to be, that turn around the barrel, the finish of the barrel, and then coming out of that barrel and picking up that rib cage, that hip, and that shoulder and getting it to take off in the next direction and picking up that next lead. So you'll see it again here when we come up to the top side of this circle. I'm going to pick my spot where I'm going to want her to turn. I ask her to bring her nose around, follow her nose, and then pick up that shoulder and rib cage, and we pick up that right lead and head off and do our circles to the right. So this is a good drill to do too if you have a horse that isn't waiting on you in the run and is anticipating the turns a little bit. You can get them to lope right by a barrel and go to the next one, so they have to learn to wait for you to give that cue to turn. I'm not having that problem with her yet, and I'm wanting her to work on coming back and thinking about turning, so that's not something that I did when I was doing this particular drill. So we'll see another transition here to switch directions. I'm going to ask her to slow down, follow her nose, come around, and then stop, pick up that lead, and head off on our left lead. And she's to the point now where she has pretty good control of her body, so we are ready to go right into those smaller circles around the barrel. When your horse is first starting, you might need to give them a couple strides to get themselves collected properly, so you might have to miss that first turn and go to the next one before they're ready to make that turn. I always like to make sure that they are ready and prepared so they are setting themselves up for success in that turn. I'm overall really happy with how she worked through this and how she held her body, how she did her transitions, picked up her leads, all those good things. So we stop it there, back up a couple steps, and I always like to finish with a little bit of a roll back to the inside, make sure that she's staying on that hind end, and we're done for the day.